Nobody is buying a tandoor, nobody. So grab your sad little frying pan, because today we're making garlic naan.
You know me, I like to make things easy where I can. So today I'm going to show you how you can make garlic naan just using a frying pan instead of a tawa. You might think you need special equipment, but you really don't. You can make stuff at home using all the pans that you've already got. So today I'm going to show you my garlic naan. If you've seen any of my recipes before, you'll know that I can't stand weighing stuff. So today we're going to run through the ingredients first because I have weighed them out. You do need to weigh these ingredients out. So I've prepped them all in advance. I find that much easier to do when you're making naan like this. So if you can, weigh out all of your ingredients so you're all ready to go. Let's have a look. The main ingredient is flour. So we've got 500 grams of bread flour, which you can just grab from the supermarket. Any brand will do. As long as it's a strong white bread flour, it's good. And you're going to need 40 grams of milk powder. This will just add a little bit of extra protein into the dough and will give you a really soft result at the end. The thing you're going to need is yeast. I've got 10 grams here. I use a brand called Pan, which I find works really well in all of my yeasted doughs. But you can use any supermarket brand that you like. Then we've got sugar, 20 grams here. You can use white sugar if you've got white sugar. I've just got brown in the house, so that's what I'm using today. Then here we've got salt. You want 10 grams. That will just give the dough a little bit of extra flavour. Next, you're going to need 40 grams of butter. This is garlic puree. Normally when I make garlic naan, I'll use a bulb of garlic. I haven't got one at home today, so I'm improvising with garlic paste. This is my own that I make at home that's mixed with oil. There's 20 grams here. Then you're going to need a little bit of extra butter for brushing at the end. And then we've got coriander as well. That's going to go on the finished naan at the end. You'll need flour for rolling and dusting. And then also 300 grams of really warm water. I've boiled and cooled this. You'll see why I keep this warm in just a minute. First thing you're going to do is get your water mixture ready. Now we do this particular way just because it activates the yeast and it renders a really nice dough. So into your warm water, tip your yeast, your sugar and your salt. I don't know why I was shaking my hand like that. And then you're just going to give that a really good mix. Then once all of the sugar has dissolved, all you need to do is set this to one side. We're going to wait for that to froth up at the top and it'll be ready to use. But while that's happening, we are going to prep our garlic. Then into a small pan, you are going to tip the 40 grams of butter. I'm going to let that melt. Keep the heat nice and steady, you don't want it too high. And then once that's melted, you can tip in your garlic. Give this a really good mix in. And we're going to leave this to cook for about 4 or 5 minutes. We want to wait until all of that kind of raw garlic smell is cooked out. Garlic is looking nice and golden like this. You can take it off the heat and then you're just going to pass it through a sieve. Now, normally when I do this, like I said before, I use a whole bulb of garlic, which I actually chop by hand. So passing it through a sieve is much easier. But because we're using a puree today, it's a little bit more tricky. So you'll need a fine sieve. All you're going to do is let that butter drip out. But you're going to keep the puree as well as the butter. So just set that to one side. We're just going to let that cool for a minute while we prep the dough. So to prep the dough, you're going to need your flour, obviously. Into that, you're going to tip your milk powder and your activated yeast. And you can see now the difference in the colour. That's the frothy part at the top, so you know that the yeast has had some time to do its magic and it's ready. Into your flour. I'm actually using a mixer today, so if you have a mixer, great, mix light work of this job. If you don't have a mixer, you will have to do it by hand and it will need a little bit of elbow grease, especially when you come to adding the butter later. It's hard work, but it's totally worth it. So if you are doing it by hand, a little bit of patience might be necessary. So to the mixer. We're just going to set this off and let the milk powder mix into the flour. And then once that's mixed in, you can pour in your water and yeast mixture. You'll see now that this is actually quite a dry dough. Now the reason for that is that we'll be adding butter later that will loosen it all up. But for now, we're going to add in our cooled down garlic. So we'll turn that off. Tip in the golden garlic and set that to mix again. We're also going to gradually pour in the butter. And this is what I mean if you're doing it by hand. Working the butter in at this point is really hard work. You've got to really knead the dough to make sure it's fully combined. So if you've got a mixer, use it. That's all the butter in, so we're just going to leave that to mix now. Now it does take about 5 minutes using a mixer to combine all of that butter into the dough. So if you're doing it by hand, be prepared for a good 15 minutes of kneading. What we're going to do now is just bring the dough together. So you're just going to lightly dust your worktop and scoop out the dough. If you've got a dough scraper like this, it makes it really easy. Cost a couple of quid on Amazon. Grab yourself one. Saves your hands getting all sticky and doughy. And all you're going to do is just bring this together like so. You don't even need to knead it if you've been doing this in a machine, so it really is easy. And it's a nice soft dough. You're just going to pop that back into your mixing bowl, and then we're going to leave that to overproof for a good couple of hours. Just make sure you cover your bowl so that it doesn't dry out, and leave it in a nice warm place, and it will almost triple in size, which is what you want. So don't panic if it looks like it's gone a bit mad. It's totally fine. I've now had my cup of tea and a snack, and the dough is almost ready. So in the last couple of minutes before it finishes proofing, we're just going to prep the butter that we're going to use to brush over the top of the finished naan. So you're going to grab that little bit of extra butter that we had and pop it into the same pan that you cooked your garlic in earlier, just for a little bit of extra garlic flavour. And then we're going to let that melt. Just get the little bits of garlic that are stuck to the edges of your pan mixed into this now melted butter. And then all you're going to do is, once it's sizzling away, mix in your coriander and just let that soften a little bit in the warm butter. Then just turn your heat off and set this to one side. You can just pop it into a little bowl if you want, just to make it easier to brush later. Just pop it back into that same coriander bowl. Time that to perfection. Then grab your dough and you can come and have a look at this now actually. See how much that's risen. It's well and truly proofed. So all you need to do now is just lightly flour your work surface and scoop that dough out. We are just going to knock this right back. The reason we let this overproof is because we're not making bread. Well, not in the conventional sense anyway. You don't want that same texture as a loaf of bread. We want this to be chewier. So by letting it overproof, you won't have those little pockets of air all the way through. So all you need to do is just bring this together like so, and then divide it into 8 or 10 pieces, whatever you feel is manageable really, so whatever you're happy to handle, small or big, it doesn't really matter. I normally do mine at about 100 grams of weight each. Of course I eyeball it, but you can weigh them if you want to. Once you've divided up your dough into manageable sizes for you, you're just going to make them into dough balls. And line them up in order, because when we start to roll these out, you're going to roll them out in the same order that you made the dough balls in. Then once your dough balls are all ready, you are ready to roll. Like what I did there. Okay, normally I would use a tawa, something like this. Every Pakistani household has got a tawa, generally speaking. But you don't need one, so don't go out and buy one. You can just use a regular old frying pan. Anything that's got a flat surface that you can use is totally fine. So don't feel like you need to go out and buy something special. You don't. So I'm going to show you on a frying pan today. Now, because this is not as heavy based as my tawa, you just want to set this on a fairly low heat. You don't want it scorching hot. So a nice medium to low heat while you roll out your first dough ball. So just gently roll this out. Don't worry about the shape. It doesn't have to be round. It can be anything you want it to be. I'm going to do mine slightly oval today. If you've got a smaller frying pan than I have, then you'll need to make sure that you use a smaller dough ball. So you can see the shape doesn't matter. Just make sure that it's nice and even all the way around. You can already see the little air bubbles forming. So just dust off the extra flour and then pop it onto your warm frying pan. And then the same way you make a roti, you'll see that the colour starts to change and the bubbles start to form too. Once that starts happening, you can flip this over. You'll see again the bubbles starting to form, so just flip it again. And you'll notice as well that the thickness of the naan is now slightly more than it was before we put it on the pan. So it's risen slightly. Once it's looking a little bit like this, you can take that off. Push on your melted butter and coriander, just for that little bit of extra garlicky, buttery goodness. And then you can carry on with the rest. Now, if you want to make these a little bit thicker, just roll them out a little bit less. I don't like my naan too thick, so I tend to roll them out a little bit thinner than you'd normally see. So just to show you, I'm going to leave this one slightly thicker. Just makes a smaller naan so that you can see the difference. Then once you can see those bubbles again, you can take that off. And if I put those side by side, you can see the difference. And again, all you're going to do is grab your melted butter and coriander and just brush it over the top. Same dough, slightly different naan. Because it smells so good, we've already eaten half of one. A man made me do it. Rinse and repeat. Try not to eat the naan as you go.
Store leftovers in an airtight container and store yourself away from other humans for at least 24 hours. You're welcome. Save it, share it, and if you're not subscribed, then now's the time. There's plenty more where this came from. Go on, what are you waiting for? Make me proud.